Welcome to the podcast with Nick Sarayev and Matthew Larson, where we run you through 5 practical things we are doing today to improve our business and our lives. How you doing today, Matt?
I'm good, little dog. How are you?
Fantastic, big dog. You excited for another banger podcast? The fans have been waiting.
I know. Before we get started, watch these over the long time. The more MRR he has, the greater the amount of bass in his voice has gotten.
Is that what happens? My balls are just
It has.
dropping.
Yeah, he's way too much bass in his voice now. Now that he's getting some actual good MRR.
Sorry, buddy. So what does that mean for you then?
Yeah, it doesn't affect me the same way. You should have heard my voice 12 years ago.
I should have. Unfortunately, I did not know you back then. One of my greatest regrets.
Yeah, they say never meet your heroes, but you met me February 28th, 2024.
So what's going on, man? You want to share your first point?
I would like to share my first point. I would. Yeah, let's just do that then. First point is focus as a muscle. Yeah?
Nobody's ever done that one before.
No one's ever done that, but it really helps people. To describe it to the 3 people who've never heard about it before, right? And it helps me as a reminder when I'm sitting here overlooking my kingdom and grinding. Focus. I can't focus because I need to exercise this muscle, quantity and or quality. If we're trying to get a lot of work done and we're trying to focus, we can either work way more hours, or we could work more intensely during those hours, or preferably both. Yeah, I just am redoing my product, and this is one of the mindset modules because I know how much it has helped me over, I don't know how long, we'll just say the years. And most people, I would say, are not going to have their ADHD or some Adderall or whatever, like they say. It's just another way or another excuse to get rid of their personal responsibility. It's more of like they can't focus at all, including me in certain periods. And the reason for that is because it is atrophied. Why would we be able to focus when we never practice focusing ever?
Right.
Same way you don't go to the gym for 4 years. We go back to the gym, probably not gonna be very good. Yeah. So there's 2 things that we can apply this. The first one is just in general, the way I described, but also to set good expectations so you don't get discouraged. If we've never focused before, especially if we have only focused before with Addy, nice Addy subscription, and now we're prescription, I guess. And now we're not trying to do that no mo. Right? Not saying me, I've never taken an Adderall in my life, but someone I know was talking about it who was in Dubai with me recently. So we can't be using PEDs, we need to be focusing naturally. And we do that by focusing for 1 hour, maybe next week 2 hours, next week 3 hours. I give people good advice that always turns into bad advice for most people, like work 12 hours a day with 12 work forms a day. And then it's like telling, just bench 315, just bench 405. Oh, you never been to the gym?
4-minute mile.
Well, just bench. Let's just throw 2 more plates on there. So it's just one of those things.
This is a surprising level of self-awareness for you, man. Has something changed over the course of the last little while?
Yeah, therapy. But just one of those things,
Yeah.
I just yeah. It's like, I think we said last week, Andrew Tate motivated 1% of people to make their life better and sign up the other 99%. And now they're just like, I met a Tate clone for the first time last week in real life. Or like someone who's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, it's funny, but we need to develop focus, long periods of time, intensely.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's honestly the superpower. You could probably talk all day about all of the sub skills that are really high ROI. Obviously, you're doing like newsletters, affiliates, so on and so forth. These are all like manifestations of that skill of focus. If you can just harness the upper level skill, which is just sitting down and then being able to focus on something for a very long period of time, You're inevitably
Mm-hmm.
going to be great at all of those. And it's just becoming more valuable in a market that is saturated with things that take away your focus, like the distraction economy. I called it the distraction economy the other day, which I think is pretty pointed.
Damn.
Yeah, you like that shit?
Do you get a royalty if someone else says it?
I do, yeah. So say it a
I
lot.
love that. When I was single and younger and going to the bar with I was telling this story. I was going to the bar with like my friends, and like you have to talk to like an ugly chick, right? Because your
Oh
friend's
boy,
trying to go with her friend.
time to get canceled again.
I was used to convince these girls that my family, my great 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 grandfather, 6 generations back, invented the comma, and every time someone uses a comma, our family gets a royalty. Speaking of
That's
royalties.
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. First of all, Matt can't go 5 minutes without being canceled. I can't.
Yeah,
Second of
it's
all,
pretty good. It's pretty
well,
good.
I used to pretend that I was the owner of a small Japanese fusion hot dog chain in
Mm-hmm.
Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
and I ran with it and talked about how I was rich off Japa dog. So I
That's
feel like,
very good.
yeah,
You have lore.
I have some lore for sure.
I have some
But
crazy lore.
instead of talking about our lore, we should probably talk about the thing that we promised people that we would talk about.
You're the one bringing up royalties. So
Fair. Yeah, I feel you on focus being a muscle. I really do. I could feel it when I get out of it. I think that's why thinking of business as the gym, like, we talk about focus as a muscle, but I think if you zoom out a little bit, like just treating business in general as the gym is like the simplest and most powerful way of treating it. Like, you don't grow massive biceps doing 10,000 bicep curls in a day. You do it doing 30 to 60 bicep curls every 1 to 2 days for a very long period of time. You know what I mean? Like, you spread the volume over time, and that's how you do it. So same thing as just like showing up every day over a long period of time. Like, don't get me wrong, when you get good enough, you do have to do things like, I don't know, vary your training style, do extraordinarily high volume, and do all these super fancy things. But like, most beginners would be far better off just going to the gym of their business just once every 2 or 3 days for like a year. Um, it's kind of like, you ever take one of those starting programs, like Starting Strength or Strong Lifts or something?
no.
They're basically these, like, 3x5 or 5x5 programs where you just like show up 3 days a week for like a year, and you just do like compound lifts. And they're the most boring programs on planet Earth because you just squat, bench,
Be a
and
good
deadlift
one.
essentially for a long period of time, right? But yeah, it's just one of those things where like you kind of have to do that to build up the strong base to be able to do more specialized programs or hypertrophy programs or whatever, get those nice sexy cap delts that everybody wants. Um, so I think of it really similarly, honestly. I think that's the best way to think of and it's no wonder why so many bodybuilders and stuff, like successful ones, end up just being successful in like everything that they do, right? Like, a lot of these big guys just end up, who develop the focus muscle to be able to go to the gym for a long period of time. They end up doing the same thing in their business because the skill that they have is not their big fat muscles. Their
Or
skill
if you were
is their
grinding
ability.
RuneScape, then you go, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
92 is
talking
halfway
about
to
there.
99. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
don't get me even started on like focusing on the right stuff. That would be the next level, you know? Actually, like focus on priorities.
We
I saw
make
Alex
things.
Hermosi in a short that he said there was a survey, and like the 3 characteristics in common of billionaires is that they thought they were better than everybody else while having insane like anxiety and confidence issues, and then they also had impulse control. Focus. If we can focus, we're 1/3 of the way there. I'm 2/3
Well
of the way
said.
there.
Well said.
Just got to develop that crippling anxiety and feeling that I'm not good enough. I'll get that hanging around with your school MRR every day.
Yep, it's damn right you will.
So how much school MRR are we at right now?
Collectively, it's 320,000 just in MRR, but I'm not taking into account the annual subscriptions that I get, which bump that up another 30.
Well, yeah, that's not MRR. Why would you take into account those?
Because I'm not counting the AR.
Maybe it would be AR. It depends,
I suppose.
Yeah.
It's
It's
good
just
though.
one of
We're
those
still
things.
number one worldwide, which is funny.
Did you get anything for it yet? Like, did they reach out to
Pretty
you?
sure they're gonna send me the little thing You know, like it's like a little thing with a little fire. They're trying to make it like the Olympic Games, right? So
I want to see it. Can I be the first one to see it when you get it?
Maybe I'll like unveil it on the pod. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, so I'll be the first one to see it.
Like we'll start the next episode. It'll just be me with my little statue and shell. We're like, hey, look at this, man.
Sick.
Yeah, man. I also got the YouTube thing. You know how YouTube sends you the plaque when you hit 100K?
You got it?
Yeah, I got the YouTube plaque.
Where is it? I want to see.
No, it's not here. Unfortunately, it's in my car back in Calgary.
Where is it? I want to see.
My car.
Do you have a picture of it?
Longitude, break it in my vehicle.
Do you have a picture of it? I want to see. You got it fast. I heard people like sometimes wait like a year to get it.
Yeah, there's some service that you have to like go through or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, but they sent it to me. The issue is, okay, when I see it in the backgrounds of people's YouTube, okay, I'll say this and then I'll jump into my point. But when I see it in the background of people's YouTube videos, it looks so like thick. You know, it looks really girthy. Like I feel like that shit's heavy. Then they send it over to you and you realize like it's mostly empty and it's just like a little aluminum layer on top.
Oh, really?
Spray painted. Yeah, and I'm like, I could pick this up with my pinky. I thought this was going to be like 10 pounds at least.
Yeah. Wow. Damn. So you can't even use it as a paperweight.
No, can't even use it to bludgeon people to death. That's how yeah. That's how you know it's good.
Are you gonna like wear it like a mask then if it's so light?
That'd be pretty funny. No, I don't make YouTube subs my whole personality, Matt. Do you?
It wouldn't be a very good personality if I did.
All right. You want me to talk about my point, bro?
I want you to talk about your point, please.
Well,
we're all dying.
Didn't come up with this just now or anything. I definitely have been slowly building the list of things that I wanted to talk about all week. And my carefully considered and well thought out list starts with
no preparation on the kid. That's fine.
Starts with pausing content. So check this out. I said a week ago that I was going to stop publishing YouTube videos every day. Now, if you remember, immediately after I said that, you were like, Nick, that's a dumbass decision. You're being stupid.
Correct.
In typical Matt form. And I was like, no, I think this is the right decision. The reason why, short form rationale, was that my view to subscriber ratio was plummeting. So basically, previously, if I published a video, about 20% of my entire subscriber base would have seen it. And then after 20 days of consistent posting after that point, I was down to 5%. And my hypothesis was that I was burning out my audience. Matt was like, there were a couple of other hypotheses. You could be publishing shitty content. Maybe the quality of your stuff is going down. Maybe you're, I don't know, just not optimizing it or whatever. And I think these are valid, but I think the like big elephant in the room is just like, hey, there's probably a reason why nobody can consistently publish stuff like this over a very long period of time, because the, you know, people that otherwise would have, let's be real, publishing content isn't that much work. People make it out to be this really big deal or whatever, but it's like, dude, hit the oil rig. You know, I'm just sitting down and I have a freaking camera on, and like I just
it's like a coal mine.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, it's not actually that big of a deal. But if it's not that big of a deal, there's definitely a bunch of people out there that are probably smarter and more committed than me that would have seen this as the opportunity that it is and have done so consistently. We don't see that. I think the reason why is because they usually start or they try, and then over a long enough period of time, they realize what I realized, which is that essentially the effectiveness of a single unit of content goes down. You had diminishing returns. So my theory behind all this was, okay, well, I'm just going to pause. And typically what happens when I pause content and then I come back is I get this comeback effect where people are like, oh my God, it's like the return of Nick. Nick's going to publish a video. He's going to do, you know, I got to watch this. They see me in their feed after missing me for a little bit. And then, you know, my metrics are usually better. So I just did this, and we timed it alongside the drop of a 6-hour course on AI automation business. And yeah, it's now 1 of 10. It's performing the best out of all the other videos I've published. And I think there's something to that. So what I'm thinking is the perfect ideal strategy. This is what I'm doing this, you know, week, and maybe you guys could take this on. I don't think most people have the same problem as I do. Most people's problem is that they don't publish, just to be clear. But, you know, assuming that you do publish a lot and you run into a similar problem, what I'm doing is I'm just going to, what's the term, tranche it, so that I'm doing sprints of maybe like a week or two where I publish consistently every day. And then I take a little bit off. Maybe I'm going to say like, you know, a week of publishing, 3 days off, a week of publishing, 3 days off. And I'm going to go on these runs, because I think there is some cumulative benefit of posting every day. I think people expect to see your videos every day, and I think you build up a habit. But I also think that like too much can be a bad thing. And I think that some sort of structure like this is ideal. It'll allow me to take advantage of the comeback effect every week when I drop a new video. What do you think about that, Matt? I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts.
No, I think that was just a long-winded thing to just say, I don't want to keep posting daily. Reverse rationalization.
That's the issue. It's really not. It's not a lot of work whatsoever.
I think there is a lot of evidence, even though YouTube says it doesn't, that when you post your next video, the last one stops getting pushed.
So you think that maybe it's not a thing of posting daily, maybe you just space out the thing between posts, but you remain consistent?
Yeah. I think and I'm in this YouTube course, and everyone says that they would never post daily because YouTube always stops pushing the previous one. And I've seen that anecdotally. I haven't done a study on my own channel, but when I post daily and the next one drops, like the previous one is getting, let's just say 100 views in an hour, and then it goes down to like 20, like the next hour randomly.
Logically, it would make sense from YouTube's perspective. There's only so many video thumbnails they put on the Explore page, and they probably decrease the likelihood of you being on there twice just because then it would just be one creator dominating, right? It's kind of like Google.
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is clearly working. But I think that particular one is a bad example because you come back with like the best video idea ever. That's 6 hours. Of course, that one would be 1 of 10, no matter if you were doing it coming back or not, in my opinion.
Do you think there's something? I get where you're coming from. Do you think there's something about, like, let's say it would have been a banger video, and then I do it in addition after a hiatus, that there's some big multiplier that maybe increases the probability it goes mega viral, like my N8N one?
Could be with you. With me, if I don't post for a while, I get less views when I come back. I know that's the case for a lot of people. If you don't have extreme brand YouTube loyalty of your subscribers, like most people, I would say go down if they take a hiatus.
Right.
Seems like you have much better than the average person's like subscriber loyalty or whatever you want to call it. So it could be good for you, but I don't think that would be like a general strategy that's good for most people.
Yeah, good point. I could just go back to publishing once every 2 days again. That was pretty good.
I think once every, like most people, like if you ask like the film booth guy, because I'm in his course, he says no more than 3 times per week, and most of them say twice a week is what they shoot for.
How many subs do they have? How big are their channels? Are they bigger than me? Do they grow faster than me?
No. Like that's why I think, like, especially with AI being the hot topic, daily is going to be good.
Yeah.
If you really want to, like, I don't know, just guessing, but if you really want to do it, you should go like more search-based ones too, like you clearly are.
Like the N8N stuff.
Your search-based ones, like search-based is how you get a lot of views over the long term.
Yeah, it's like you get that viral spike initially, and then most videos just die down to basically nothing.
Because a lot of your videos, like a few of your videos are a month old, and they still get 100 views an hour, right?
Yep.
Well, like 2 of them for sure, and like those could just be your best videos, but those also could be good in search.
Yeah, well said. Okay, I think I'm going to try out the sprint thing, but I'm hearing you. It may be that I just publish once every 48 hours or something instead. I just
Did you make that N8N full course thing like basically from scratch, or is that just videos edited together?
No, it's just videos edited together with an intro and a CTA.
I see.
Yeah, so
makes sense.
The sunk cost, like on my end, was basically nothing. It was just my editor and my strategist that needed to take a couple days. Same thing with the most recent course video. And I think that's like one of the hidden things of publishing every day or publishing a ton of content over a long period of time is like the repurpose potential is crazy. Most people have never watched the videos that main video pieced together, so it looks new to them. Do you know what I
mean?
Yeah.
You should just throw these in a poppy board and make a daily newsletter and 10 tweets a day and 3 long form posts a day and some short form scripts.
Oh shit, I forgot to get back to the poppy guys, man. Dude, these guys have been on my ass for so long, and you know what? They're actually like, it's a pretty good product. I should definitely get back to them.
Yeah, I get my girlfriend to she just puts my YouTube videos in there and it like transcribes them, and then she turns it into tweets and newsletters and stuff perfectly with my criteria.
Okay.
So you could like make these YouTube videos and like actually turn it into everything too, in like with 1 minute of extra effort.
Like an assistant or something that could manage this for me, and then still.
How many email subscribers do you have from all this, including like the ManyChat? Probably a lot, right?
I think it's like 10,000 directly from the ManyChat automation now, or 8 to 10,000. But if you take into account my Gumroad, it's like, I think it's like 30 or 40,000 now. It's a lot more.
Yeah, like you could be emailing all those people every day.
Yeah, I just I'm gonna hire a guy to do the newsletter stuff for me and Kit.
I could just give you my criteria that writes a perfect newsletter. I'll send it to you after.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good. Okay.
You just put it in Poppy, and then it will just blast it out. It doesn't do well with case study videos, but any video that's educational, it'll do really well with.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. All right. Anyway, listen. Enough about me. The people are here to see you. They're here to see that chiseled jawline, incredible hairline, that picture-perfect, clear-ass skin. What's your moisturizer, bro? Are you moisturizing?
Yeah,
you just genetically blessed.
I don't think the jawline's very good. The hair's good. But no, I don't have good skin. It's just the light. That's way too aggressive on the light. Let me do that down so we can see my flaws a little bit.
Let's go back. No.
Yeah, let me see. If you guys want to see my flaws.
Nobody wants to see those flaws. Let's just crank that shit. In fact, make it even brighter.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Let's just go to zero. What's it called?
Wow, you look like a Korean K-pop artist, dude. Clean.
Let's just go to zero shutter speed.
All right. What's your next point?
I don't know how to use my camera properly, so my shutter speed always actually have to manually do it.
Yeah, looks good to me.
My next point, Google Veo 3 or Veo. We're gonna call it Veo. Hopefully that's what it's called, not Veo. 1 and 2 are pretty ass, I thought, but number 3 just got released 7 days ago or less, I'd say. And like you could actually make these ads really nice if you if you know how to make ads to begin with. It's not going to make your ads good if you don't know how to do it. But if you put in any amount of B-roll and editing and just like put some auto captions in, most people are going to watch ads on mute anyways on Facebook and LinkedIn by default. Like they look really, really good. It's almost like you could do a 500K TV commercial like that you would normally have to pay 500K for all that stuff for like $5. And it's actually kind of crazy. Like one of my business partners that you know, Eric, he like made an ad. It said it took him like 3 hours. So it's not like it's one click or anything. And he's good at advertising to begin with. He like made an ad for one of our business verticals that reduced our cost per lead from $80 to $18 per call.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. And like the ad's hilarious. Like you saw the ad.
I thought that's like, the one that you sent over where the guy's like,
yeah, it's good, but it's pretty crazy. So now, like, and we also increase the ad spend. So it's like decrease the ad cost per call by $68 plus the ad spend is doubled. So we have a good opportunity. I feel like I think because you're in AI and automations and shit, and I'm like not in it as you, but people like freak out. Like so many people don't even know how to use a CRM or place their pixel on their website or even use Zoom properly without screwing it up. Like you'll be fine if you just like sink a lot of time into doing all this stuff. Like you're gonna have a business for the next 10 years at least, probably even more.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like this is the first AI, video maker release that could be used for an actual service that's actually any good.
It's like the ChatGPT moment, but for video. The way that I see it.
Yeah, there'll probably be like ChatGPT is not even any. Well, it's for some things, I guess. But I bet you there's going to be a lot of AI video agencies that are going to pop up because now you can like if you're an advertising lord, a lord of the ad account, you can actually like make the ads you want or you always wanted to. Maybe not for e-commerce because I doubt they'll be able to have anyone's product in unless it's like Coca-Cola or something. Yeah. But for lead gen or there's just actors speaking, like there's lots of ads that I'm sure everyone would want to make, but you have to get an actor. They have to say it right. You have to do all this, but now you can just type it in as a prompt. And it's like an incredible learning curve. Like I spent an hour and got nowhere on it. Probably have to put 5-10 hours in to even get basic user functionality.
Well, but incredible then it opens learning curve in 2025, ladies and gentlemen. Man had to spend 1 hour.
Well, that is an incredible learning curve when you're me, That's not funny. But yeah. So I think it's just a very good opportunity. And I'm just like, there's a lot of things where you could probably take people's ads and just clone them into VO or VEO or whatever it is, and like get the same ad that you know works, but for your own business, as opposed to like coming up from stuff from scratch, because people already do that anyways, but it'll be to even better level. So,
dude, that's a brilliant idea. Can you know what you can do, right? There are services out there that basically they transcribe the video and then they look at the video every couple of frames and they actually put together a whole storyboard style script and directorial thing. So what you could do
right.
is you could probably automate the process of finding winning ads and then just feed that whole thing into Veo and like actually do a pretty good job of it, I imagine. Or at least pump that into some pipeline and just have like you or a virtual assistant or some writer actually take that and then use it to make an idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can do a lot more risque direct response ads too, because the actor's not going to be like, I don't want to say that, you know?
Like what?
Well, just like the ad Eric made is like all these dumpster fire leads that you previously got. Like I could see a bunch of like liberal actors be like, I don't want to say that, it's
Right.
dumpster fire's meat. And they could say it 100% with a straight face in one take, like the AI actor.
Oh, that's rough, man.
So then you can, yeah, you're gonna see some crazy work going on out there. I bet.
Yeah,
It's gonna be funny.
agreed.
But
It's great.
and you, please tell us, please. We all like. It's been paining me waiting to hear what you have to say since I saw you last.
My next point already?
Yes, please. Already.
You don't want to talk more about the A? All right, man. Damn.
No, I don't. I think
Listen, I thought it was a pretty good idea. Just to be clear, we don't have to move on if you don't want to.
Please.
All right. My next one is conferences. So the reason I'm in a hotel right now is because I'm in a conference in Vancouver. And I've come to the realization that conferences are just for people that get nothing done, ever. If you go to conferences, for the most, there's some exceptions, obviously, which I'm sure you're going to throw at me immediately after this. If you go to a conference,
everything is the same every time. There's no nuance to anything.
I'm glad we're on the same page there. Matthew Larson, the king of nuance, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But yeah, so conferences are more or less like a really poor information distribution mechanism. So from a knowledge perspective, it's out. I mean, you could just record one of the talks and then play it back at like 1.5 to 2x speed, and you'd probably be able to focus more than you sitting in some tiny little plastic chair in your stuffy ass suit and tie, going back and forth while having to deal with the distractions of the rest of the audience. So, I mean, it's kind of like high school or university classes or lectures in that way, right? Like, there's just no reason for you to actually physically be there. It's like a deprecated information transmission mechanism. It's like, previously you go to a lecture because you could hear the guy could multiply his leverage, and instead of explaining one thing to one person, he could explain one thing to 50 people. Well, now we have the fucking internet. You don't need that. So that's number one. Number two, like, it's mostly for social signaling purposes, obviously. You go to a thing and then like, it's like, I did a talk at insert big conference name over here. Like, I'm at this trade show. Like, you can claim some sort of association with them, but in my case, there's basically no need, because I think my associations already outweigh whatever value that the conference could possibly give me. There's like some networking tangential benefits where like you meet somebody face to face and that makes more of an impact. I can see the value there, but honestly, you could just cold email like 100 times the people at the conference and you could get 1/100th of those people to respond to you. And you could do that today. You don't have to fly somewhere. You don't have to go to the event. You don't have to try doing all the rigmarole of shaking hands and kissing babies. You could probably get much more leverage just doing that. And then really the only possible reason why it might make any sort of sense is if you're selling like super high ticket products and you're doing so at like direct trade shows or some shit like that. That's it. I don't see any other reason why you would possibly want to do that. It just seems like a colossal waste of time.
Right.
Yeah, and also just like the average like depth of knowledge that most of the attendees have seems to me lower, I would say. Like there's an ideal spot where you do a lot of stuff and then you also spend a similar amount of time talking about it. And that's like the ideal place for serendipity. I don't know if you've ever seen that graph, but it's like luck is where like you talk about something about the same amount that you do the stuff or something like that. And there's some ideal ratio between the two. But like the conference attendees and stuff like that, they're very skewed till they're talking about stuff without actually doing anything about stuff. And yeah, this isn't just the one specific one that I'm going to. I think it's just a lot of the events that I've been to that are ostensibly business related in general. So
what
if you really want to get
what
stuff
is this
done,
conference? that you're at right now?
It's
Why are
just
you
like
there?
it's called Web Summit. I was invited to come ostensibly for networking opportunities. There's just a bunch of CEOs and like founders and presidents from companies that are like into AI and whatnot. I think Elon Musk spoke at the same conference a few years ago. I don't think he'd be invited back now, but you know what I mean. It's like the tech thing on the West Coast. So yeah, just to make a long story short, I think if you really want to get work done, you just avoid stuff like this. And I think just the more the credibility that I'm going to get, the more of a cost it will be to go to these things. So the more I should avoid them. You told me not to go to some event from like a month ago because you're like, you should continue posting videos. You're crushing it right now. I ended up going and it was fine. Like it wasn't the end of the world, but I did definitely lose a little bit of steam. But this is like a hyper example of something that I don't really think you should go to.
I see. So you're just saying this publicly, right? And like, so they can watch it and say how bad it is. Like, that's pretty good. Yeah. It's pretty good. But yes, the only value, like, you got to understand when you go to those things, like, most people are employees whose job is to be there. Like, they don't really do anything or care.
Right.
It's like going to be over 90%. And then the only value is meeting people at like McDonald's, not even at the conference, that you just know online to close the deal. That's where I always close the deal, McDonald's.
Really? Give me an example.
I go to affiliate summit. Affiliate summit in Vegas is always a good one. I go every year to find lead buyers. and I go to LeadsCon too. And you never go to those things unless you just have a list of like 50 people that you want to meet in real life and try to close. I don't even buy a ticket to the actual event.
You just close them at the McDonald's? But what does that actually look like? Like, walk me through this. This is high level stuff. People would love this.
So you basically need to, like, you'd go to close leads that you know from online, right? Or just from somewhere else.
So like you already had some sort of like contact with, right?
Yeah, you never like go to meet people, in my view. Like, well, I have done that when I was younger and dumber. No, it didn't really do much for me, right?
First contact.
So never first contact, in my opinion, unless you're just going with all the boys or you're invited to speak there. If you're invited to speak there, it's actually you get clients from doing that, and then you could also put the recording, and it looks really smart on your like website and YouTube channel or wherever you post it, right? Like they paid me to speak here type thing. Like I clearly know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And then like, but you're going to, like most people, you're going to meet, if you're going to Vegas, like tactically, like what exactly I do, you go to the McDonald's near Caesar's Forum to say like, let's just talk for 15 minutes. And then the McDonald's fills up with business meetings more than like the actual event does after a while. And then you just find where everybody who doesn't go to the event but just goes to see their friends hangs out, which is McDonald's to eat, and then Chandelier Bar in the Cosmopolitan. Like that's technically what you do.
Right.
And then if you are forced for some reason, or you do not take my words, what you do is you make it, and you actually go to the conference, or like you're forced to, you go and you have a shirt that has a QR code for your lead magnet on the back. Like that's what you do. So you get a shirt that says get 10 free leads for whatever, and people scan it and go fill out your website, and that's how you collect leads. So you don't even need to talk to anybody. You can just pay some hot girls or some nerds at your company to walk around. Way better than getting a booth as well.
Huh.
I used to nail conferences. I used to like go to like probably more than 50 per year.
Holy shit. Once a week?
Yeah, I would just go. No, I go like multiple per week for like 4 months straight.
Right. Okay. Conference season and whatnot.
Because I like would pseudo live in Vegas during my second agency, because there's like an Amazon event there like literally every week, something, or at least some related event. So I'd stay there for like 4 months living in like the Wynn, and it was terrible. But you would get a lot, especially if you're in a smaller industry that has like maybe 5,000 businesses, you're going to see like almost everybody at these events over and over and over. And you do get a lot of business from it if you do it properly.
Was this the $900K a month agency?
No, this was the one before.
Okay.
That one was like the same size kind of, but I only own 25% of it.
Yes, yes, that's really interesting. So I guess in your view, it's a viable sale, or at least it was back when you were running that agency, a viable sales funnel. And what sorts of deals were you signing? Just to be clear, were these like affiliate deals specifically? Like we will provide you X Y
That
Z
was
leads?
Amazon. Now I find lead buyers. So like people who work at like, well, there's only like 5 auto insurance companies and everybody feeds
Yeah,
into them. Like just
yeah,
people who work there.
interesting.
But I would always, I wouldn't go unless I was going to meet at least 5 to 10 people face to face
Yes,
that I
yes,
knew from like either like a sales call or somehow online.
yeah, yeah. No, I've met up with some people, and I'll continue to meet up with some people, but they're not like it's not like people that I would have otherwise have connected with. You know, if they weren't at the
Yeah.
same conference at that particular
You
point in
don't
time.
really, I don't think that you have a reason to go to these conferences. Like you don't have anything to sell to anyone
Yeah,
that you could sell to someone like more efficiently in
differently in
real life.
person. Yes, exactly. My thoughts.
Yeah, but if you're
Are
selling
similar.
something that's like 100,000 or more, like it helps a lot.
Yeah, the McDonald's deal close angle is hilarious for those high ticket
McDonald's
deals.
deal close. Yeah, they're paying for
Yeah.
dinners. No, the real
If I was
hitters go to
McDonald's, I'd have
McDonald's.
little microphones in every little napkin box, and I just like use that to
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, source
It's
deals.
actually pretty good. Like In-N-Out's a good one too. Like depending on where it is. It used to be at Caesar's Palace, but in the last few years they built Caesar's Forum, so now the In-N-Out's closer than McDonald's.
Damn it. Well,
I
you've
used to,
given me some much needed context. I would agree with
no,
you.
but
I
for you it'd
don't
be
really think there's any
pointless to
reason
go
in
to
my
those
case.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd
but
be
still,
pointless.
I do now see why so many people do. This makes sense to me. Those high
But
ticket
you got
like
to
deals.
understand 90% of people there are employees who their company just sends them with no real aim or objective just to have someone
Yeah,
to go there.
yeah, exactly. Just like a
Like, especially if you go to
representative
the
sitting
after
in a
party
hotel
events, you're like, how is this fun? Like, shouldn't you be working? But like 90% of those people are just employees, like normies, like just there to like grind and like, or not grind, like on the dance floor grind.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. It's
But
basically like partying in a suit and a tie.
yeah, they're there to
Yeah,
party. And that's where all the adultery happens.
that's where the
You know?
adultery happens.
Yeah, business conferences are basically, if you're an employee, they're for committing adultery and not getting caught. Like that's what they're for. I do not do that because I'm there to work, but that's what they're for.
Welcome to Business Con 2025, where you can I mean, you can learn all about
Yeah, I'm just
AI and
teaching. I'm just
automation.
teaching the people the truth here. You know, it's fine. Someone's got to teach them.
Holy
And if
shit,
you,
man!
if,
I
I
didn't
guess
know
if you're
that.
an employee watching this for some reason and you're not getting in on the
Really want to get
adultery, I
laid.
guess you're just ugly. You know, this is your sign.
I'm not getting in any adultery. What's going
Yeah,
on here?
this is your sign. So yeah, but
Damn, man. Cool, 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 cool. Well, that's me with the conference piece. You got anything to round us out?
I do. I think I might have talked to it, but I've been getting back into my daily 5 habits. You want to hear them?
Mm. Yeah, dude,
My
you've been
daily
blowing up
5
my
habits right here.
text
I don't
messages
have them
here
written down,
because
but I'm going to write them down.
go for it. Let's do it.
YouTube, 3 ads, 3 hours on product. System, 1 training. So I have this thesis. That's not really my thesis, but it's just a matter of, simplicity's good, right?
Mhm.
It's like Sam Ovens being flabbergasted by your funnel of posting
Yes,
helpful videos and then the link to your product. Amazing, right? It's genius. It's literally genius.
it is.
So like just simplicity for everything. My 5 things I do every day, and if I do these things, I consider the day to be a success. 1 YouTube video, 3 new ad creatives, 3 hours spent building my product, 1 system like checklist to delegate something, and then 1 training someone one-on-one on Zoom for that. And like as long as we get those things done, which is actually like a fair amount of things to be honest, it's gonna be like 7 hours of work.
Mhm.
But as long as we like focus on those things, like that is going to ensure everything goes smoothly. I'm going to be getting more clients from YouTube and ads. My product is going to get better, meaning I'm going to get more clients and churn less clients. And then 1 system basically, and then 1 training session is basically getting stuff off my plate that is not those things that I mentioned earlier. I think it's a foolproof system. I made a YouTube video that I actually booked a lot of calls from, because that's how I judge my YouTube videos. Because if I did it by views, I would be sad. It would be: want to grow your agency to 10 million per year, follow this daily schedule. And like, this is the schedule in it, more or less. And I got more calls because the number one thing that people, I don't have time to do this, which you technically don't. That is technically true as of today. But if you actually made your checklist and you did a training session and you actually hired, and so you don't have 98% margin anymore, I know, novel concept, you would have time to do all of this. Like, people always ask me, like, oh, I got to respect your time. You're so busy. I'm like, well, I'm really, like, actually not. Like, I don't know about you. I don't know, like, what you think. Like, as Nick, I'm really not busy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
you're pretty busy, but the key is that you don't have to be busy. The work that you do is all completely and utterly elective. You don't need to actually attend to it.
It would more or less run without me. Maybe the YouTube would not, but like, I'm really not busy. I'm sitting here like chilling, going on 5 walks a day, listening to Game of Thrones clips. Like, I'm not working that hard, you know.
You're at
watching the full
Game
Game of Thrones through short form content on YouTube.
You've graduated from the Bus FFS League of Legends streams, huh?
Yeah, I'm just not as into it anymore, you know.
Yeah, you've grown up a little bit. We're on to Gamer Fantasy Dragons. Yeah.
I'll stop at season 6 too. Like, I've watched Game of Thrones many times. You don't need someone to tell me to stop. It's fine.
Yeah, he can stop whenever he wants, guys.
Yeah, like, I just want to watch the final 2 seasons.
You know what's interesting about a lot of your solutions? I consider them like caveman level sophistication. And then they just solve most modern, high-level, complex problems. It's just like, if you guys try just being less smart and just doing this every day for fucking a year.
Yeah, have you like literally tried just working? I know.
Yeah, it's like, just like it's almost like you got a club and just banged your head a bunch, and you're like, all right, like, what the fuck? What should I do now? And then that actually works.
I know. My best clients in my mastermind in 1000x leads. Oh my god, that's amazing. What did you do? Well, I've opened the Trello and followed the instructions. It's genius.
Yeah.
How did you think of that? Well, I paid for
it. Everybody's Q&Aing, like, no way, like, what was your first thing? And it's like, oh, I just did what Nick told me to do. It's like, no way, what's the second step? It's like, yeah, that was step 2 in Nick's playbook. No way, what was number 3? It's like, I asked Nick what I should do next, and he said this, and then I did it. I don't mean that to be pompous or anything, but, like, you know, we create these programs for a reason, right? They do tend to be the straightest line paths to getting from point A to point B. And it's like, you just follow it, you're doing 90% of the work.
There's a lot of guys who've been paying me a relatively lot amount of money for like a year straight every month, and I don't think they've like even done the first step, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and like, it's not like, because there are situations where people pay me like 5, 10, and 30K a month to just like give them advice when they need it on something specific, but it's not like these people have like $500 million insurance companies or something. They have like a 10K a month agency, pay me, and don't do anything. I'm just like, okay.
I'm eating up like 30% of that margin.
Yeah, like,
what are you doing here?
It's not making much sense here.
Yeah.
And like, are you okay? Are you on a pause? No. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I follow up with my guys pretty often, and there's this one girl, God bless her soul, she's in my group. She hasn't showed up in like 300 and something days. And I'm like, hey, like, do you want to stay in here? And then she'll just get back to me once every 6 months, like, yeah, this is great. And I'm like, you're not showing up. You haven't interacted with any of the material. You're just paying me money for a year. Like, no, this is awesome. Yeah, I like this. I'm like, all right, I don't mind. But weird.
I saw a short from Alex Hormozy where he just said, I think most people just don't do a lot. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
It's king of focus right there, I suppose. Do you think Alex Hormozy gets more objectively done in a day than you do when you lock in?
Bet you he locks in way higher frequency and consistency, but probably not if we both lock in. Probably be the same.
Because I'm thinking, Alex he's got a lot of crystallized, consolidated knowledge in this stuff, but he's also a little bit older, and so he was unable to take advantage of, I think, a lot of the technologies that you and I probably been able to. So I do wonder about that. Just in terms of like,
do you ever get jealous, like that exact concept? But even like, I see like these There's like a 15-year-old dude who's like in my thing, and he had to get permission. I had to get permission from his parents for him to join.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I'm like so behind. I'm like what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, relax.
He's 15. He's making like, he's doing like 30K a month, which is like a lot, I think, for most people, and like especially when you're 15. And he's like, dude, I literally need to grind. He's like the most active person. I like email him or message him like 24/7. He'd be like, yeah, and he's like just grinding. And then he goes to school and then comes home.
He's probably like, he brings his laptop into the toilet to like close deals and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like these kids are cracked.
I know. Like these kids are starting so young. Even though I started young, I like didn't even make more than like 5K a month until I was like 20.
Yeah, I was later than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that these kids are going to be like 500K a month when they're like 20, 19 or something.
Yeah, I know these two 19-year-olds doing $2 million a month in revenue with just a cold email pay-per-lead agency. They just send like 90 million cold emails a month and just like spray and pray.
Yeah, again, because it's caveman level sophisticated. Like, you don't need to be a genius for this. You actually just need the I guess you just need to like be willing to operate at lower levels of certainty. And like most of these high school and like early college kids, like they inherently do that. They don't need to know everything in order to move forward.
Yeah, but like, I think it was Alex Mosey in his book More, Better, New is a pretty good framework. Like, if it's just working, let's just do more of it until it doesn't add anything left.
So even if, let's say in my case with the daily YouTube videos, even if I'm starting to face like mad diminishing returns, it's like, you could still do more.
Yeah, I think any video you post is like good, I don't even know. I don't think too deeply. I always get criticized by some people in my personal life. I don't think too deeply about stuff. Yeah,
I think you probably have the capacity to. But it's almost like a learned behavior where you're like, no, I'd rather not think deeply about that. That doesn't feel like it'll actually help me figure it out.
Yeah, I think so. We'll just leave it at that one.
Okay, Matt. Great podcast, man. Thank you very much for making some time. I know it's pretty late where you are. I had a blast.
I will talk to you next time. This twice per week.
I'm liking this momentum, dude. Let's get publishing, scale this thing up, let's get monetized.